guys, welcome aboard here, Michael Cohen, Sports Talk Nation. It's not often we talk basketball here on the channel, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk about the Knicks because the run they have put together, and granted they are down 0-2, they were down 0-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now it's 2-1. Talk about that in a minute. But the run they've been on has been historic, and it's also been such a long time since a team like the Knicks or basketball in general in this town has really mattered, and it's really mattered now this year. And here are the Knicks, down 0-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Indiana Pacers, and they are getting their clocks cleaned in Game 3 for the longest time. Find themselves down 20 points in the second quarter, and unless you are a true believer in karma or whatever it is, if you're sitting there thinking that the Knicks are going to do in Game 3 of this series, where they have had the implosion in Game 1, didn't play great in Game 2, and it looked like they were going through the motions here in Game 3, if you were thinking they were going to pull this off again, where they're down 20 points and win, you're crazy. No one thought that. I mean, it's out there, but no one thought that. This looked like it was over. It looked like the series was going to be over, down 0-3. And, of course, no team, as we saw the stat flashed many times, no team that had dropped the first two games of a conference final had come back to win that series. No team down 0-2 after dropping the first two games at home had come back to win a series. Now, the Knicks have a lot of work to do. You know, they get a win. They're down 2-1. They got to win Game 4 to really make this a series and make this a conversation point that they can come back and do the unthinkable. But to come back down 20, where your best player, Jalen Brunson, is practically not on the floor at all in the second half. He's in foul trouble. I know a lot of people want to kill Tom Thibodeau, for the amount of minutes that guys like OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson have spent time on the bench here in the postseason. But Brunson was in foul trouble here in Game 3, had 4 fouls in the first half. It was going to be very hard to play him a lot of minutes in the second half. They had to pick and choose key points in the second half to put him in. But they needed somebody else to step up, and that person was a guy who's also drawn the ire of a lot of Knicks fans, and that's Karl Anthony Towns. My goodness, what a fourth quarter. 20 points in the fourth quarter for this guy in Game 3. He was remarkable. I mean, he was hitting, not just making buckets, not just making free throws, but hitting big-time three-pointers in this fourth quarter. He had a big three-pointer that brought the Knicks to within 7 at the start of the fourth quarter. He then hit another 3 with about 8.5 minutes to go in the game that brought the Knicks to within 1, and then comes back, gets the bucket that gives the Knicks the lead, gets the foul shot. Knicks are up now 2 points. So here they were. They were down 20 in the second quarter, and they have come all the way back. Their defense picked it up nicely, and then Karl Anthony Towns just goes off in that fourth quarter and gives the Knicks the lead. And then after the bucket by Siakam, Towns again goes to the line, hits a couple of free throws, and then hits a 30-foot jump shot, gives the Knicks a 4-point lead, and really they just kind of built off of that lead from the rest of the way. But great job by Knicks defense in the fourth quarter because they reduced the impact of both Halliburton and Siakam in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. Those two guys, while they got their buckets, they weren't having those big impactful shots that they did, let's say, in Game 1 and Game 2 of the series. And the Knicks did a great job defensively from that standpoint, but the bench, too. I mean, the bench was great in Game 3. Miles McBride coming off the bench, giving the Knicks 9 points. Even Landry Shamet doing a nice job defensively, getting a 3 points in this game, a big three-pointer in the second half. But McBride, 9 points coming off the bench in place of Jalen Brunson. He did a nice job offensively, kept the team afloat. Heck, he had a 7-0 run by himself in the third quarter that brought the Knicks to within 8 points. So when the Knicks needed the bench and another one of their stars to step up, they got it in Karl Anthony Towns as they get the victory in Game 3 and now make this a series. All of a sudden we have a series now. It's 2-2 2-1. Now, as I said, they got a lot of work to do. They got to go out there and win Game 4, and I think they got to not just win Game 4, but then win Game 5 if you really want to start to believe that this could be a historic comeback in this series. Otherwise, it's just a nice game on the radar, a blip on the radar with the way Indiana's played in this series. Now, here, look, Knicks let one get away in Game 1. Pacers let one get away here in Game 3. So I guess from that standpoint, you're even. But again, the Knicks have to win Game 4 on Tuesday if they want to make this a series. But still, a nice win. What a weird playoff this has been for the Knicks, right? As I said, it's been historic in many ways because 3 of their wins, they have been down by 20 points. Down by 20 to Boston in Game 1 and Game 2. They won those 2 games in Boston. Here, down 20, they win on the road in Indiana. Knicks have been great on the road. They've been terrible at home. Terrible at home. 3-5 at home in the postseason. But when they get away from the Garden, they have been very good. We'll see if they can pull another one out in Game 4 and really start to make things interesting. And again, if the Knicks are going to do this, obviously you need great performances from other guys other than Jalen Brunson. Brunson's been great, but you can't rely on him every single night. They would love to get Anobi moving here in the series. They'd like to get Bridges moving in the series. Josh Hart ended up on the bench tonight, and he did not have a great game. You'd like to see him start to get rolling a little bit, maybe get some confidence going in Game 4. They need other guys to keep stepping up and making things happen if they're going to continue to prolong the series and maybe make some history happen. So, good win for the Knicks. Moving right along here, another thing I want to bring up here, the Yankees. My good, how did the Yankees survive against the Rockies? The Rockies are the worst team in baseball. Only 9 wins. 8 wins coming into this weekend series, and the Rockies beat the Yankees on Friday, and then the Yankees barely survived on Sunday. Yankees win the series, but that was closer than they would have liked. They still take 2 out of 3. And then there are the Mets. They win a series against the Dodgers. Well, all the attention is on the Knicks, and that's understandable here in town. The Mets kind of flew under the radar here this weekend against the Dodgers. They win 2 out of 3. 3-1 win on Sunday. The one thing that is notable is the fact that the most notable thing is the fact that Carlos Mendoza's changed the lineup a little bit. He has dropped Soto down on the order to the number 3 spot in the order. He is put at times, whether it be Mark Vientos, as was the case Sunday, or Starling Marte, as has been the case in recent games, into the number 2 spot. That's a good idea. You got to take some pressure off of Juan Soto here. I think there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, batting on the number 2 spot behind Lindor and in front of Alonso. He has been pressing, as we all think, throughout the course of this season so far, and hasn't looked like himself. Did have a couple hits on Saturday, had an RBI on Sunday. Maybe he'll start to get going. The Mets need him to start hitting the baseball if they're going to get this thing really rolling right now. And right now the schedule's in their favor. They get the White Sox and the Rockies this week. The 2 worst teams in baseball are on the Mets schedule. White Sox coming into town on Memorial Day weekend. Monday, actually, and through the week. And then into next weekend, the Mets are in Colorado. So a chance to make some hay for New York. They got to do that before they see the Dodgers again as we start the month of June in L.A. So a good series victory for the Mets. They beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. They keep pace with the Phillies in the NL East. Yankees survive against the Rockies. Believe it or not, I can't even explain that, how they just survived that. They should have beat the crap out of them in that series. And then, of course, the Knicks, a heroic comeback win in Game 3. They keep the series going, and they'll certainly keep the Knicks fan bing-bongers who've been going crazy on TikTok and all that happy for at least one night. We'll see if they can pull it out in Game 4. It's been a very interesting series, a wild playoff, and a big one for the Knicks as they try to keep things going. Like and subscribe. We'll talk to you next time.